we go.
It's going to be really hard to have the camera focus on this.
Oh, it looks so pretty though.
Yay. Hello everyone, it's Christical and Natasha,
Hello.
Ugly Duckling Master Educators. I know it's early on a Friday morning here in Victoria, BC. Just going to give it a second. Hello. Natasha is here with me to help answer any questions you guys may have. Yeah. And I just wanted to make this live strictly about our clear as mud crystals. It is fairly new to the Ugly Duckling lineup, and I don't think enough of you guys know about these amazing crystals. So we want to share them with you. And if you guys have any questions about anything, please let us know. I will demo how to do one of our tips with our pointed back crystals, because I think that's a one crystal design a lot of people have questions about on how to use these beautiful pointed backs. So what I want to do is just quickly go through and talk to you guys about the colors that we offer, the sizes as well, and then we'll jump into a demo. Okay, so I'm just going to shuffle the ones out of screen because I know it's going to be hard for the camera to focus because they're so sparkly. Really sparkly. And I don't know, Natasha, from your end, if the quality does justice for these.
I mean,
it's hard.
Kind of, but once you see them in person.
Oh yeah, 100%. So we will be working on kind of little promotional videos of all our colors and our pointed backs in Ugly Duckling videos so that you guys can see the true sparkle of all of them on their own. So I'm just going to start with over here. These three are recently new to our lineup. We have our Colorado.
Yeah.
And then we have our Cyan, the red one, and our Emerald, which is the green, which is perfect time for Christmas. They are amazing. And we also have, that's great. I was thinking ahead of the thing, but we'll hold it there. Yeah. This one here is Jet Black, which honestly in the packaging doesn't do justice. And I was telling actually Natasha yesterday when I was creating these full tips with the bling, I never expected the black to look so gorgeous, to be honest.
Honestly, I've been using it almost in every Halloween set that I've done so far. And they're just, for a crystal that isn't actually like transparent, they're so reflective still. And that's because of all the facets.
Oh, exactly. Which we'll get into that in a second. Yeah. This one here is our beautiful white opal.
One of my favorites.
Oh yeah, definitely. Rose opal. And probably my fave, just because it's so sparkly, are just traditional crystal. And then we have our AB, which is also very beautiful. Down here we have our Tanzanite. Peacock, which I love peacock, is so rich.
I was just going to say it's a really, really rich color.
100%, especially beside like the Montana. These three are so incredibly rich. They would just look amazing together. Then we have our Champagne. I'm going to be demoing our pointed backs in our Champagne. So we'll be also using the flat backs. Then we have our Light Rose and Fuchsia. And just down at the bottom here, I've just put three of our other colors that we do carry. Cape Blue, Aquamarine, and our Blue Opal. With these, however, we're not completely finished with our set of sizes, so we don't have every single size quite yet. So I have not done a tip for those, but I wanted you guys to see the color options as well. Again, all of this information with our crystals are online that you guys can view. The sizes that we carry are SS3, SS5, SS8, 10, 12, and 16. Now the beautiful thing about 10 and up is they are 16 facets, which is what gives that sparkle factor, which is amazing. Numbers below are in our 8 facet just because they are a tinier stone. They don't have the 16 facets, but regardless, they're so shiny and beautiful. And you know, Natasha and I were obsessed with bling. We love the sparkle. So these definitely pass for us and we love them. So those are our flat back colors that we currently have. And again, as more popularity come with our crystals, the more colors we possibly will introduce one day.
Exactly.
So those are our flat backs. Now let's talk a little bit about our pointed back crystals, which are probably my fave. Partly because they're absolutely huge and gorgeous. They just make for such beautiful nail jewelry. And doing these tips here gave me a lot of joy to complete. And I wanted to share them with you guys so you can see the ones that we do offer in our pointed backs. So we have our champagne, we have our AB, our crystal, white opal, and rose opal, which are stunning. And you can see we have different shapes. We have big ones to tinier ones. It's hard to see, they're all together, but when we do the demo, I will talk a little bit more about what that is. So these ones are lovely. They may be a crystal that is intimidating for many. Do you have something?
Pause you for just 1 second.
Sure,
Erin
yeah.
says the camera might have a fingerprint on it. It's a tad cloudy.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Erin.
That's great. I appreciate that. Hopefully that'll be better. Thanks, guys. We don't want anything clouding these beauties. So I want to do a demo with our pointed backs because a lot of people are intimidated, not sure how to use them. And of course, they're not something typical, you know, clients would want to wear all the time. But when they see them, they love them. Mm-hmm. And when you wear them, they're actually not that bad. You think they'd get in the way, but there's certain ways that you want to apply them correctly so nothing gets caught. Yeah. And then they're amazing. So,
honestly,
you know.
Like I remember when Christical.
Yeah, no worries.
We used to wear these. Well, I mean, she still wears them quite often. Yeah. My nails are short right now, so I don't as much. But when we would wear them, I mean, we would wear them all the time, and everybody would always be like, "How do you wear those?" But really,
yes,
like you said, as long as you apply them a certain way,
exactly,
they're really, really wearable.
Yeah, they definitely are. So they're gorgeous. Let's talk about our flat back shapes here quickly too, so you guys can see that these ones are amazing. I love using these when I'm doing clusters too, because they have so many facets on them, very, very sparkly. So what we have here is just our flat back round. We have our marquee, oval, and 2 teardrop shapes in different sizes. This one's 6x8, this one's a 5x8. All the sizes are indicated on our website as well for the stones, so you guys can get a better idea of them. It's hard for the camera to focus, but those are our 5 flat back shapes. And then we also have some fun square ones and rectangles as well. A couple square that are kind of the pyramid shape too, which give the crystals a cool look, different sparkle factor. Nice to incorporate this with any crystal design that you may do. Okay, so that is our bling, and I'm very excited to demo for you guys how to use our pointed backs, incorporating with our flat backs, and what product I use to ensure the crystals last, and easy removal.
So while we're actually getting into this,
yes,
what product are you talking about, Crystal?
Stick-it.
Wonderful.
I am talking about our Stick-it.
So we have Jerry.
Okay.
Says, I'm having troubles with crystal staying on. Help.
Okay.
And I've said that it may be that she's possibly not using enough Stick-it.
Correct. So let's talk about this. When we apply, you follow along carefully, and we'll show you exactly how much you need to use for what crystals you're using. Because when it comes to smaller ones, you don't need as much. Bigger stones, you definitely will. So hopefully this will help you achieve that and not have any loss of crystals. Our Stick-it is amazing for holding the biggest embellishments, as you saw our pointed backs, as well as the tiniest caviar beads or crystal pixies even. It's absolutely amazing. So what I've done here is I prepped a tip using our gel polish number 67, and I finished it with a top coat. So whenever you're doing different crystal designs, you can choose to either put the top coat on a finished polished nail or wait to apply the top coat. Just depends on what you're doing and what your preference is. I have chosen to put the no wipe on first because I'm going to create a bunch of bigger crystals and trail it down, but I have to also be careful that I don't have any extra exposed Stick-it on my design, because you'll see that, and the no wipe typically would cover that if I was opting to use a no wipe after crystal application. So you can do either or. In this case, I've chosen to put our no wipe down first so it is completely cured, and then I'm going to come in and start to apply our Stick-it. So I'm just going to shuffle some of these to the side so I can get my crystals here. I've just got my containers for all my bling set aside. And I want to use them all. So I want to show you guys all of the different stones that we have when I am doing this design. With using bigger crystal embellishments, we want to start by applying one at a time and then curing, and then applying more stick-it, and then butting the crystal up, then curing. Because these stones are heavy, what can happen is they will kind of self-level off the design. So I like to create the center one by one, and then the rest, as you'll see, I can apply more to the nail and then cure afterwards. So my favorite tool that we will be using to apply the bling is our Ugly Duckling Blinger. Amazing. It has a wax tip on one end. I feel like the camera is not focusing a bit. Am I right?
A little bit. I just think there's so much bling.
Okay.
And also, maybe would you mind just taking a little piece of that paper towel and just wiping the lens again?
Is it still?
It's not bad, but I think I'm wondering if it's because maybe the black gloves. I'm not sure. But
Okay. Sorry, guys.
no. It definitely was better after you wipe it the first time.
Okay. Let's hope that this is better. Okay. So our blinger tool has a wax tip on the end, which is nice because you can purchase individual wax tips as replacements. The head just comes off and then you can push it back in. And on the other side, we have our dotting tool. So this is the end that I use to apply my stick-it to the nail. So I have a brand new stick-it because my other one is all used up. Lots of love. And it's amazing because these are in the 5 mil pots, but a little goes a long way and you'll have your stick-it for a long time. As you guys can notice, this stick-it is clear. It's a clear consistency. If you've ever noticed that your stick-it is kind of cloudy white, foggy looking, or more kind of like gritty, then no problem. That is okay. It just means that your stick-it has just gotten really cold. And unfortunately, without warming it up, it will not return to its original consistency. So either way, they still work just the same. I like to use both consistencies actually, especially when I'm using the bigger bling, and it works fine. So there's no need to worry there. And if you do have one that you that is quite cold, all you have to do is put the lid on nice and tight and just expose it to warm water for a few minutes, depending on how much is in the pot, and it will go back to its original consistency. So I'm keeping the bling out of frame so that we are not causing too much blurriness. And I'm just going to pick up some of my stick-it. And again, depending on what size crystals that you guys are choosing to use will depend on how much stick-it you pick up. So I'm just going to apply, and this one actually is not completely fluid. It does have a little bit of a gritty consistency, which is perfect for this application right now. So I'm going to pick up the champagne. This is our biggest stone that we have. It's our, oh my God. Oh, I'm going to try to get through this with not getting distracted. And I just place it right on top. And basically I want to make sure that this outer edge here is kind of up, pointed up, because this is where we're going to tuck in a couple more stones. And I always position these big ones center to the nail for my design because that's going to be the best balance for the nail.
You can see all the hearts that are on the screen.
Okay.
That's what I'm laughing
Nice. I'm just going to set that into the lamp, and I'm going to do a quick cure of like 10 seconds just to hold it in place. The beauty about this stick-it, you guys, is that it holds the bling and it is so easy to remove. I know I got intimidated years ago when I used to have to apply different embellishments with like acrylic. It was just impossible to get off. Not having a good quality glue that would actually hold.
Well, in using glue, you have to make sure that it's completely dry when your client leaves, because if they expose it to any water,
exactly,
then they get that
cloudy look, which is frustrating as well. Okay, so I'm gonna work and tuck up the stick-it along the pointed back side. And of course, when I'm doing it, I'm just using a stick-it for the crystal that I want to use, because if I put too much on and then I'm curing the stick-it, we're gonna have a big kind of a hill, a hump, which means the pointed backs aren't gonna sit flat or properly. So I'm just gonna tuck that one in there. Now I have enough stick-it coming through, so I might pull some and try to apply 2. If you can apply more at once, no problem, go for it. It just depends on how the crystals are sitting and if they're not shifting. Oh wow. See, so I tucked our teardrop one up with our
She's getting distracted.
Square. Yeah, sorry. How can you tell? Oh my gosh, you guys. It is so very true. With our square pointed back. So these ones are the biggest stones that we carry. So I'm going to do another quick cure of 10 to 15 seconds. And just watching the stones, if we're finding that they're shifting and kind of self-leveling off the nail, then we want to keep our eye on it so that we can push it back up in the lamp. But generally, that doesn't happen too often at all. So just a little pointer if it does, that it's easy to kind of fix.
I think once you get your first stone on there and you've got it cured, it kind of helps keep everything else in place.
It absolutely does. And I just want to show you guys a little sneak peek. I've got some caviar beads here in rose gold that I'm going to be using. We may or may not be introducing those very shortly. Dun, dun, dun.
We may not. Or we may.
Or we may. I like to use beads with all my crystal design because it really helps finish off the look nicely. And as you guys can see down here, we got a little hole here. So I want to tuck up a smaller pointed back. So I think I'm going to take, I don't know, sometimes when I'm doing these designs, I'll just pick up something, place it down. If I like it, great. If I don't, then I can take it off. It's no problem. So kind of using our rectangle, kind of like a pin cushion, you would say, type stone, which I love this one. Let's just do, yeah, that's exactly it, yes.
Nadine asks, how do you charge for stones, by the stone or by the design?
Yeah, and that's a good question, you guys. So our big stones, our big pointed back stones come in 10 pack, and they are, I think it's about $10 a pack. Yeah. Just depending on what stone it is. So it's like $1 a stone. So for a cluster design like this, I would definitely charge anywhere between $30, $35 for design. Because honestly, you have to consider the time that it also takes to apply the crystals.
So when you're using a big, like the big pointed backs, you would charge per stone and then also include your time.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, exactly. 100%. So you always want to, I would definitely charge, I don't know, at least a couple bucks for a stone. Definitely a few dollars a stone, especially for the big ones, because they are amazing. So I'm done with using the pointed backs. So I've just I'm going to trail my design kind of in an S formation here. And I'm just putting a little bit of Stick-It in the area that I want to work with. And as you can see, where I put my Stick-It is where I need to fill in with crystals before curing. I don't want to do a little section here and go and cure it when I've got Stick-It down here, because of course we're going to cure that and it's going to be too bumpy to apply crystals. Now this is when I'm going to come in and take some of my little beads and I just kind of tuck them into the little crevices of the design. And that's going to really help to kind of seal off those pointed backs so nothing will get caught or stuck in those areas. So I like to just kind of go around, tuck in those beads where I can. And it's nice to have the dotting tool when applying Stick-It because it definitely can get into those little areas without touching the crystal. You definitely want to avoid touching the crystal with any Stick-It. Because once you cure it, it's cured on there and it's going to take away the clarity.
Even if you find you need to get into even a tighter spot, the tiny end of our Omni tool is a great option.
That is a good point. Yes, absolutely. Or sometimes I've even used our detailer too.
Yes.
Yes, which is, it gets right in there and I love using that. Okay, so now I'm just pulling out some of my champagne crystals here. And then when I trail off from my big design, I will start to use bigger stones first and then come in with smaller ones. And then in between each of the flat backs, that's when I'll place my little caviar beads just to kind of finish off the design so that we're not kind of having any open space. And it's nice when you're doing a lot of bling work. I always tend to, especially full contact nail, I tend to pick a color as a base that will go nice with the color of stone that I've used. And this is because if there are any exposed little areas in between the crystals, it really helps to blend out and doesn't kind of stand out. Now I've got too much Stick-It on the end here, so I got to remove some. If we have too much Stick-It, it's going to be a problem because it's going to, once you place the crystals on, that shticket is going to come around the stone and it's going to sink in. So we don't need that much for these little stones, but then again, you need enough to ensure that those crystals aren't going anywhere. And once I've fully cured this, I'm going to show you guys a little tip on how I ensure that the little babies are on, everything is secure. And it's just testing the crystals by rubbing over top of it with your finger, just to make sure nothing is coming off.
Christical.
Yes.
Is there any way you could possibly move to your right, I believe?
Right here?
Yeah. Just
yeah,
because,
no problem, you guys.
With the little chat there, we're...
Nope, thank you so much.
No problem.
And all I'm doing is I'm coming in and I'm filling in my design. And a lot of times it's just placing crystals. Sometimes I put something where, you know, I thought it would look good and it doesn't. No problem, take it off. The shticket is not going to cure, or it's not, your design's not going to be fully set or cured until you expose it to the light. So you do have that time to kind of play with it. And what I do is I like to twist it around and make sure it's sparkling how I want it to. But honestly, if you guys have not given our clearest mud crystals a try, you will not be disappointed. They are amazing.
I agree.
Yeah, I love it. Easy, that was easy, I agree. The quality, it's important to us to have a quality stones, and these are amazing. So any exposed shticket that we may have, that maybe you don't want because you're done your crystal design, you can wipe off with a gel brush, a clean gel brush, just to get that off so that you don't have that little extra hump of shticket. You want to look at the design and have it clean and nothing else exposed. And then as you saw, I just tucked in a little caviar right on the top, and that's just kind of sealing those so nothing gets down and caught in there. And then what I'm going to do is just do a couple dots, very little dots, and we're going to see how this will hold the caviar beads. But we don't want too much either because we already have our no wipe top coat on. So in this case, if you chose to not put a no wipe top coat on and just have this application right over top of your gel color or gel polish, you can finish with a no wipe top coat afterwards. And it's just like tucking the no wipe up around the crystals and the beads. That also kind of gives it a little bit more reinforcement to hold those beads on. But then again, you are running the risk of having it kind of sunk in. How would you describe that?
Well, it's funny, because that's how I've always personally done it.
Afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see this technique because I've never done it on top before. And you find it wears totally fine?
Definitely.
Awesome.
And I think the reason why sometimes I choose, because it's really hard to get the no wipe smooth around certain areas with the brush, and that I found, you know, created kind of that streaky look around the design. So I kind of just experimented and seen what works, and it works. I have no issues with it at all. So it's worth a try.
It would be probably less time consuming because I know I have to sit there with my detailer 2 brush and go around everything.
Exactly.
And then, yeah, so
it could definitely shave some time off, but it does take time and practice, especially if you're not used to applying bling. It does take time, but it's well worth it. And I also, I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to do a full cure. The 60 seconds in our LED light. I'm just going to put my lid on here. Unfortunately, I work right beside a window, so all my stuff always tends to kind of get cured because my window is huge, and I want to make sure to properly close everything. And it's nice because of all our tools and our brushes have lids, so they stay protected very nicely.
All of our premium tools.
Yes, thank you. We do have our pearl handle brushes as well. They do not have lids. So we're going to do a final look here. And this would be more of a complicated design. I would say just using the pointed backs. Flat backs are super simple to use. But once you kind of get familiar with using a pointed back, they're great. They work amazing. And removal, I'll show you guys once this is fully cured. I think, well, this is good enough. It's not
Erin says, is there enough time to demo for a super short nail cluster? Most clients I have only do short nails.
Short nails? No problem. Let's do it. Why not? Let me just grab it.
Kristen was like jumping off our chair. She's like, yeah, no problem.
Well, you twisted my arm, didn't you? Let's do it. And I'll show you with the smaller crystals as well. So I'm just going to take a shorter nail. Yeah? Okay. Or maybe
even we have our oval art tips.
Yeah, let's do an oval art tip. That's a good call, Natasha, because that's more typical.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. And guess what? We're going to play with a different color.
She's like, yes, you're the best.
Yay! Okay, so guess what? I'm going to do my favorite. Okay, I want to do a crystal application. And I'm going to show you guys my favorite. Natasha.
I already know.
You already knew.
I already know.
I know.
Holy hearts, everybody's really happy.
You guys happy about this? I'm just opening my window a little bit, guys. Hopefully the sound's not too loud because we're by a road.
The heat in Christabel's office, we've discovered that it's either on or off. There's no in between. So
no. So it's too hot now. I'm going to be using our color gel, number 26. Now wait till you see this. It is beautiful. As you can see, well loved, well used. And again, you guys, our color gels are on special for another week and a half.
Next, they're until end of October.
Yes, I lose track of the days. So we have our color gels on special for 20% off. So now is a great time to purchase some if you haven't ever tried our color gels, or increase your color selection.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
oh my goodness. Okay, let's have a look. And I want you guys to watch how this applies. It applies so smooth and like butter.
Like butter.
And a little goes a long way. Amazing coverage. And I only need to do one coat here. This is going to be, the camera's not going to like me with this one.
That's okay.
But we get the idea.
Sarah's asking if they're on offer in the UK also.
Oh, can you repeat that? Sorry.
Sarah, she's at one of our UK Ducklings. She's wondering if they're on special in the UK.
Oh, they are available with all our distributors. Absolutely, yes. Deals of the month, you can definitely get them through our distributor. And if not, we do ship worldwide, just so everybody knows. Now, I'm going to do the demo the opposite way. I'm not going to put the top coat on.
Okay.
And we're going to apply strictly on top, so that way you guys can see the difference in applying the top coat. I'm going to have to shut this just because it's too noisy outside, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my... So I've got all of my smaller pointed backs. So we're going to do a smaller design just with the smaller pointed backs and not the big guys. All right.
People are happy.
Okay.
There's a lot of hearts going on.
Okay, so here we go. Let's jump right into it. Grab my Shtick-It, my blinger tool, and we're going to just apply in the center. I always recommend the center, you guys. Typically is where I've done some cuticle area. Maybe let's do one maybe higher up, just so you guys can see the difference. So I do a lot either center or around the cuticle area, especially if I'm kind of coming down on an angle. So I'll put a little bit of Shtick-It there. And I'm going to come in with my smaller bling. So this one's a smaller round compared to the big round that we did. So this is a great option to use. And then I will take our smaller teardrop pear shape. And then I'm going to tuck in a square, but I think I want to cure this first. I'm just having a peek to see what else I have. Yeah, so we're going to cure that. So we'll leave it just like that. Quick cure. And I'll show you a trick too, because sometimes with the small ones, doing 4 together is a bit much. So I do 3 and then I'll tuck a bigger flat back on the one side. Okay. So now we've got those 2 there. I'm going to take a little bit more Shtick-It. We don't need much, just enough to tuck in against the crystals and pull a little bit on the nail. And then let's grab one of my tiny square. We're going to tuck it up there. And just make sure that all these ones tuck so nicely. There is no exposed area. It's in there nice and tight. I don't know if you guys can see this one okay.
No, it looks great.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's super sparkly.
I might have picked the wrong base to show you, to be honest, but I wanted to. Oh, okay. So now I'm just going to get my pointed back crystals. Yeah, thank you.
No problem.
It's too much crystal lingo. Okay. I just want to grab some so you guys can see. It's just like the sparkle is just crazy. Yeah, the camera doesn't do justice, like, compared to what it, no.
Like your tray is blinding right now.
It is, I know, it absolutely is. Okay, so now I've got a little area here that I need to tuck something in. So what I'll do is put a bit more stick it. I'm just putting stick it where I need to apply. I'm going to take a bigger flat back. Two. That one's a bit too big, so I'm going to go down to the next size.
Elaine says, I love how you're calling these small with a little winky face.
Oh my god.
For Christical, they are small.
You guys it's funny because you guys wanted to see a smaller one. This would technically be a small cluster with our small crystals. But then I'll just trail it off with little flatbacks and not make it too crazy. But in order to use the flatbacks, you have to have at least 3, just so it's hiding the edges. I'm just gonna do a quick cure on that, and then we'll just trail a couple crystals and stones off the nail.
Nadine's asking, which is the gel that's the frosted silver, like the pearly white color that's similar to this?
In the color gel?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I have it right here, actually. It is, yeah, I got it. It's one of our new releases. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's number 51. It's beautiful, too. Very pretty. And actually, I did a tip. Let me see if I have another tip. Let me show you. I have it here. So used it on this one with the opal. So this is not the one that I showed you guys in the beginning because I had it on a flat color, but this one is using it with the sparkle, and it looks gorgeous too. So great option having sparkle on the background. It gives that extra punch. Okay.
Where can we get these stones in the Netherlands? I don't know.
Yeah, so we do have a distributor in the Netherlands, but I don't think they have our crystals quite yet. Mm-hmm. But I believe they will be getting them shortly. So definitely you can reach out to our distributor, Nail Trends, and just find out. Mm-hmm. And just let her know that you are interested. And again, we do ship worldwide, so if you want any right away. So you guys can see the difference in the big stones versus the little. There is quite a difference there. So now I'm just going to finish this off with some bling. Might be a bit harder to see where you're applying the stick it, but that's okay. Just crossing over. No, we want to do little ones here, so it's amazing too, just being out and about with crystal nails, like crazy nails, and just the looks and stares that I get, it's like a compliment. I love it when people they don't say anything, but you can tell their eyes are just looking. They're probably thinking like, what the? Or like totally wanting a pair. I was like, I get it. So I think if you're wanting to encourage clients to wear crystals, you guys need to wear them on your hands too. I know everyone encourages, glove wearing when you're performing a service on your clients, but you can have your nails done, and then so before you put the gloves on, let them have a little peekies and just see.
Flaunt them in their face.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so I'm just adding where I need. I'm almost done. I always want to trail off the crystal to kind of finish off the look. And you guys, please take a look at our website for all our crystals, our sizes. We're almost complete with all of our sizing for our color flatbacks. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at a little crystal there. I'm going to cure that, and then we're going to put the top coat on so you guys can see the application on how to do that.
Elaine says, I had a lady grab my hands yesterday in store because of all the 3D Halloween designs I just did on my nails. I love it when people do that, when they get so excited to see your own nails.
Elaine, were those for Natasha's Halloween competition?
Oh,
was it?
The last day today.
It's funny because so many people like either heard of it. It's amazing. Social media is awesome for reaching people, but then it's like a lot of people don't see things, so you never know. Okay, so here is our little crystal application. It's definitely not focused how I want it. It's okay. It's okay, guys. So now I'm going to take our Ugly Duckling No Wipe, and we're going to just basically come in here, and I'm going to basically butt the brush up to the crystals, not over. And this is just going to help seal all of that color around the crystals. And then here's an example. If this is on your client, you can't necessarily do this. This is when I would take probably the painter brush. I would say our new Painter 2 brush would be perfect for that, which I don't have available. And just using a brush to pull it down, because we really want to make sure we're not making contact with the brush on the skin. So that is one reason why, it depends on your preference if you put a top coat on first or after, but you want to take a smaller brush just to get into those little areas. And then with the caviar beads, I just kind of butt that no wipe up around it, and it just reinforces those little guys as well. Now, for crystal pixies, for example, when you're using smaller little stones, what I would recommend for sure is having a separate no wipe. This is what I would do, is putting a thin layer of Stick It down, okay? And then going over with a separate no wipe top coat and putting a thin layer of no wipe, and then sugaring on your little caviar beads or your crystal pixie type stones. And then I would lightly tap it in with my finger just to kind of press it in, and then it cures, and it's going to cure with no tack layer. Our Stick It does have a slight inhibition layer, which is no problem. It can be either covered with a no wipe top coat in between the stones, or I just take my cleanser and I just kind of lightly brush over it with a cleanse, or have my clients go to the sink and remove that tacky layer, especially in between these ones. Because if you leave it, especially on the lighter colors, over time your clients are going to come back and they're going to look dirty, right? Because all the dirt will just kind of sit in on that tack layer. So it's important to make sure that you remove it. And in this case, because there was a lot of stones, this would be a reason where you would do Stick It, thin layer of no wipe, and then press your stones on top.
I think depending on the length of the nail too.
Yes.
Like I've done them personally in sections. So I'll work kind of from the proximal fold area, the cuticle area, do a little section, put all the stones and stuff in one area, cure, and then keep going. And that way too, because sometimes with the warmth of your client's hands, it can kind of warm up the product, and it can make stuff slide. Oh,
100%. So I'm very happy with our Clear as Mud crystals. Our Stick It and our Blinger tool are some of my favorite tools to use, especially when it comes to bling application. So if you guys have never tried our Blinger or Stick It, we find these very valuable tools and products to use when you're applying different embellishments to the nail. So that is our Clear as Mud crystal lineup. If you guys have any last minute questions for us, if not, again, you guys can view on our website. We are a professional only brand, so if you currently do not have an account with us, you just have to send us proof that you are a working professional, certification, license, to our contact email, which is located on our website. We'd be happy to verify, send you a link to shop from us online. And we do also have a list of distributors that you can take a look at if there's one near you. That is amazing.
That's a lot of bling.
Oh my gosh, you guys. I know I can't get distracted today. And just a reminder, color gels 20% off till the end of the month. Great deal. If you haven't tried them, you will love them. The awesome thing about these is the cap that you see is the color inside. It's got our little ducky on it as well. And then the numbers are just located on the side. So it's nice to have them in your drawer all lined up, and you just know what color is what and grab it. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed and loved the nail bling as much as Natasha and I do. our Clear as Mud crystals. Available at uglyducklingnails.com. All right, my nail friends, until next time, we will see Natasha live next week for her announcement for the Halloween winners, which is crazy because we've been talking and Natasha's having a hard time right now.
Oh my God.
There's some amazing entries. You guys, it's incredible. Incredible.
Like,
I wouldn't want to be you right now
honestly,
deciding.
I have to sit today and I have to write out everybody's names because there is going to be that fourth draw for just for participation, and there is over 100 entries. If you check out that ugly hashtag for UD Halloween Comp, there's over 100 entries.
Yeah, so go jump on over to our Instagram, take a look. Just by searching that hashtag and just look at all the entries. They're amazing. And then you guys will see why Natasha's job is going to be so difficult.
Nadine says, can you tell us the colors on the large demo tip again in the notes later for ordering? Yeah, absolutely. I will definitely be glad to write that for you guys. And again, if you have any questions about anything that we've done in live videos, any products that we have used and you're not quite sure, just send us an email. Give us a phone call. We are here to support you. We'd be glad to answer any questions that you may have. And yeah. Anytime. We're here for you. All right, my nail friends, thanks so much for joining Natasha and I today while we went over our Clear as Mud crystals. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend ahead. Lots of love from the Ducklings. Until next time, bye for now, guys. Bye.
Bye.